वेलकम टू मराठा विद्या प्रसारक समाजास KRT आर्ट्स BH कॉमर्स AM सायन्स KTHM कॉलेज नासिक. Myself Sampar Demse, working as associate professor in Department of Electronic Science. Dear students, I welcome you all for BSc degree. Myself teach you the subject Electronics Devices and Circuits, Paper 2, Semester 1. The code of this subject EL112. Chapter 1, PN Junction Diodes, Lecture 1st. The topic included in this video lecture: junction diodes, construction and IV characteristics. Before start the video lecture, we should familiar with the syllabus, the semester first, paper 2, EL112, electronics devices and circuits. This is a 2-credit course and choice based credit system, CBCS syllabus. The objective of this syllabus: first objective, to know about basics of semiconductor device and its parameters. To know about the details of diodes, transistor, field effect transistors and metal oxide field effect transistors. To build and understand application circuit of electronics devices. To encourage students for making use of simulation software for testing the circuits before experimentation. The syllabus consists of 3 units. Unit number 1, PN junction diodes. The 10 lecture required for completing this unit. Detail of the unit: junction diode, construction, working, IV characteristic, deflection region, barrier potential, forward and reverse bias conditions, junction capacitance, diode current equation, field effect of temperature on reverse saturation current, types of diodes, rectifier diode, Zener diode. Now the application of these diodes: voltage regulator using Zener diode, rectifiers, half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier, bridge rectifier, and finding the ripple factor of these rectifier. Use of diodes in mobile charger and power supply includes transformer, diodes, capacitor filters, regulator, IC78XX and IC79XX series. So this is the negative and positive voltage regulator. Unit number 2, BJT, bipolar junction transistor, FAT, field effect transistor, metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, basics and application. Again 10 lecture required for this unit. Basics of transistor: symbol, terminals, types, basic operation, configuration and characteristics showing different regions. Application of transistor: transistor as a switch, transistor as amplifier, transistor as impedance matching network. Then field effect transistor, terminals, symbol, basic operation and application: FET as voltage variable, resistance. Field effect metal oxide field effect transistor, MOSFET, terminals, symbol, basic operation, characteristics and MOSFET as a switch. Unit number 3, photoelectric devices. Number of lecture again required is 30, that is 10. and total lecture 10, 10, 10, 13. Light emitting diodes, LEDs, symbol and its use in circuits, IR transmitter and receiver applications, photodiode circuits, phototransistor, LDR, light dependent resistor and its use in straight light controller, and opto-isolators, the IC MCTE2E and its use in isolations. Recommended book, that is reference book. The first book, Electronic Device and Circuits, first T.L. Floyd book. Integrated Electronics, Milman Halki's books. Electronic Device and Circuits, that is Borgertz and Snetha RS books. Electronic Device and Circuit Theory, Robert L. Boyles and Lewis Neskill. One textbook is there, Textbook of Applied Electronics, that is S. Chan and Company Limited. So these are the syllabus and reference books related with electronics, devices and circuits subject. Now let us discuss about the basics of electronics. Now how electronics devices get constructed. To construct it, we need the semiconductor materials, and to explain the semiconductor materials, the atom theory is very important. Now there is PN junction diode, construction, working, and IV, that is VI characteristics, deflection region, barrier potential, forward reverse bias condition of PN junction diode, junction capacitance, and 6th point we are going to discuss, that is diode current equation, effect of temperature on reverse saturation current. Now first one is atomic structure. All matters is composed of atoms, and the atom will be like this. So this is the atom. The atom is the smallest particle of elements. An atom consists of protons and neutrons to make up the nucleus, that will be core at the center, and electrons that orbit about the nucleus. Now how it is? So here this is the atom. Inside the atom, the or we call as nucleus, the protons positive charge and neutrons uncharged. So at the nucleus there is a protons and neutrons. Electrons are also there. The nucleus carries almost total mass of the atoms. Neutrons are neutral and carry no charge. Protons carries positive charge. Then electrons are negative charge, and this electrons revolving around this nucleus. So the electrons carries the negative charges. If you see in this figure, Bohr model of an atom. So here this is the nucleus, which consists of protons and neutrons, and electrons are revolving around the nucleus. So this is the electrons revolving. So like this. So this is the orbit, and electrons revolving around the nucleus. The number of protons and number of electrons in an atom, which makes it electrically neutral or balanced. So this is the atomic structure. Number of electrons in each cell. Now how we determine the electrons in each cell? The maximum number of electrons any in each cell is calculated using formula, that is Ne is equal to 2n square, where n is the number of cells. Okay, this small n is number of cells. Let us take example copper atoms, that is Cu cell. Now as we know, the Bohr model of copper atom Cu is like this. So at the nucleus, the atom of Cu having 29 protons and 29 neutrons. Now in first orbit, as we know, this is the 2 electrons. Now how it is determined? It is like this. Let us suppose this orbit or first cell is a K cell, and this K cell number of electrons can be determined like this. 2n square is equal to 2 into, so this is the first orbit, so 1 square. So 1 square is 1 and multiply by 2 means 2 electrons in first orbit, in first cell. Okay, so this is the first orbit cell. Now how many electrons in second orbit or second cell? That can be again determined like this. This is the second cell, name it as L, and this cell again finding the electrons in that cell, that is L, that 2 raised to n square. N is 2 here, so 2 raised to 2 multiply by 2. 2 raised to 2 means 4. 4 multiply by 2 is 8. 8 electrons in second cell, L cell. In third cell, how many electrons? That can be determined like this. Suppose that cell or orbit having name as Cm, and this can be determined that in third cell, Em cell is equal to 2n square. M is equal to 3 here. So 3 square is 9 multiplied by 2, 18. 18 electrons in third cell. So these are the 18 electrons. Now how much is left? Now only 1 is left. So that electrons, that will be named as n cell suppose. Now this is a valence cell, that is outermost orbit cell, and this is fourth cell, and that is 1 electron. So there is no need to find that. So here 2 plus 8, that is 10 plus 18, 28 plus 1, 9. So like this, 29 is electrons in its outermost, in its orbital path. So 2 plus 8 plus 18 plus 1, and that is total 29 electrons. So this is the finding of electron in each cell. Now let us discuss energy bands. So what we have to discuss in this particular topic? So we have to separate the solids into three different parts, that is insulator, then metals and semiconductors. So energy band is required there. In solid, the molecules are so close arranged that the electrons in atoms of molecule tends to move into orbitals of neighboring atoms. Hence, electron orbits overlap when the atoms are come together. Due to intermixing of atom in solid, instead of single energy levels, there will be bands of energy levels formed. This set of energy levels, which are close packed, are called as energy band. So this is the energy band of these electrons. Valence band, how we define the valence band? The electrons move in atoms in certain energy levels, but the energy of electron in innermost cell is higher than the outermost cell electrons. The electrons that are present in outermost cell are called as valence electrons. These valence electrons containing a series of energy levels from an energy band which is called as valence band. The valence band is the band having highest occupied energy. Conduction band. So this conduction band we define like this. The valence electrons are so closely attached to the nucleus that even at room temperature, few of the valence electrons leave the band to be free. These are called as free electrons as they tend to move towards the neighboring atoms. These free electrons are one which conducts the current in conductor and hence called as conduction electrons. The band which contains the conduction electron is called as conduction band, and the conduction band is the band having lowest occupied energy. So we have to define forbidden energy gap. Forbidden energy gap between the valence band and conduction band is called forbidden energy gap. Depending upon the size of forbidden energy gap, the insulator, semiconductor and the conductors are formed. So this is a very important band. Now how it is like this? Let us discuss the semiconductor material, that is silicon, having the atomic number 14. So at the nucleus there is protons and neutrons, as we know, and electrons are revolving. So here at the nucleus, at the center or core, there is protons and neutrons, 14 protons and 14 neutrons, and these are the electrons in first orbit or revolving around the nucleus. Here also the protons and neutrons. And the energy levels will be like this. This is the first orbit, 2 electrons. So this gives us energy band like this. So this first orbit having 2 electrons, and therefore this is completely filled. So first cell 2 electrons, inner band completely filled, and gives us a level that is E1, inner band completely filled, because 2 electrons needed and 2 electrons in that, so it is completely filled. In second orbit, that consists of 8 electrons, so E2 level is there, inner band completely filled. Now if you see the second band, 8 electrons, so these are the total 8 electrons, so this is completely filled. Second cell. Third cell we can have like this. So how many electrons left? That is 4. So this gives us the valence band, that is E3, and this is not completed. This outermost cell is not completed, so it needs again 4 electrons, means this is partially filled. The 4 electron in this valence band. Now the outermost orbit, that is nearer to valence band, that we call as conduction band, and here that is E3 and E4. So this is the EMT, and it will be partially filled when it jump, this electron, valence electron jump in conduction band. So here this is the EMT conduction band. The separation of, try to remember, separation of valence band and conduction band is nothing but the energy gap. Now this energy gap decide the solid conductivity. So in this case the 0.7 electron hole to 1.8 electron hole. So the gap between these two is 1.1 electron hole. So here we are having the metals, semiconductor and insulator, how they are separated. The classification of solid on the basis of electric conductivity, that is energy band and resistivity. The metal, the conductors are All metals are good conductor, means they are conductor. Conductors are those substance through which electricity can pass easily. All metals are conductors. Insulators are those substance through which electricity cannot pass. An example of that: wood, rubber, mica sheet, etc. Now we have to interested in semiconductor. Semiconductors are those substance whose conductivity lies between conductor and insulator. The example of that: germanium, silicon, carbon, etc. Now how we classify these materials? So materials means solids. Solids are classified into three types, and they are according to in terms of electrical properties. The first one is insulator, second one is semiconductor, and conductors. So these solids, all materials made up of atoms, and they contributes to conduct the electric current. So this is the insulator, semiconductor, and metals or conductors. Now how we define the metals or conductors? In conductor, conduction band and valence band are overlapping. So this is the overlapping of conduction band and valence band. So as we know that conduction band is highly occupied energy levels, and this is a low energy level in conduction band. In metal, the energy band diagram shows that the conduction band is overlapping with valence band. So here conduction band and valence band overlapping. This is because the lowest energy level in conduction band needs less energy than that of highest level in valence band. So this is highest level. The electron in valence band overflow into the conduction band and are free to move about the crystal for conduction. The examples are copper, aluminium, as shown in this figure. The structure of energy band in conductor. Characteristics of this: the valence band and conduction band gets overlapping. The free electrons available for the conduction. A slight increase in voltage increase the conductions, and there is no concept of hole formation as continuous flow of electrons contributes the currents. Now how we define the semiconductor? The semiconductor valence band and conduction band are separated, named as forbidden energy gap, that is near about 1 electron volt, because for various material like silicon, the energy gap is 1.1 electron volt. For germanium it is 0.74 electron volt. So this is the energy band. Semiconductors are such a material in which the forbidden energy gap is small, and the conduction takes place if the external energy is applied. If you apply the external energy, then this valence band electron goes in conduction band. Example: silicon, germanium, and carbon are the semiconductor materials. The characteristics of semiconductor: the forbidden energy gap is very small. The forbidden energy gap for germanium it is 0.7 electron volt, whereas silicon it is 1.1 electron volt. A semiconductor actually neither insulator nor conductor. As the temperature increases, the conductivity of semiconductor increases. The conductivity of semiconductor will be in order of 102 mho per meters. So this is the conductivity of that materials. Insulators. So in insulator, conduction band and valence band separated with the energy gap that is near about approximately 6 electron volt. So Electrons, however heated, cannot partially jump to the conduction band from the valence band due to large energy gap. Therefore, the conduction is not possible in insulator. Characteristics: the forbidden energy gap is very large. The valence band electrons are bound tightly to the atoms. The value of forbidden energy gap for an insulator will be near about 10 electron volt. For an insulator, as the temperature increases, they might show some conductions. The resistivity of insulator will be in the order of 107 ohm meter. For the diamond, the energy gap is 7 electron volt. The band diagram we are going to discuss. So this is the energy diagram of three types of materials, that is insulator, semiconductor and conductor or metals. So in this band diagram, the valence band and conduction band having large energy gap in insulator, so this offering very high resistance, and that is why these materials not a good conductor of electricity. This is an insulator. In semiconductor, the valence band and conduction band separated with energy gap, and that energy gap in semiconductor is 1.1 electron volt, that is less than insulator, and therefore resistor offering by this semiconductor is less than insulator but greater than metals. So this material neither good conductor of electricity nor bad conductor of electricity. That is why they are named as semiconductor. In metals or in conductor, conduction band and valence band overlapping, so energy gap becomes zero. When energy gap is zero, resistance offered by this material is very less. That is why this material is a good conductor of electricity. So in this way we separate the metal, semiconductor and insulator according to energy bands. Next one is difference between metal, semiconductor and insulator. The electrical, according to parameter electricity, the metals are good conductor of electricity, whereas semiconductor are neither good conductor or not bad conductor of electricity. Insulators are bad conductor of electricity. Next parameter, conductivity. In metal, conductivity is very high. In semiconductor it is moderate, and in insulator very low. Forbidden energy gap parameter, there is no forbidden energy gap in metal because conduction band and valence band overlapping. A small forbidden energy gap in semiconductor, whereas in insulator forbidden energy gap is very large. Resistivity low in metal and greater than metal and less than insulator. Resistivity in semiconductor, and resistivity is very high in insulator. Overlapping of bands. Valence band and conduction bands are overlapping in metals. Valence band and conduction band are separated the energy gap of 1.1 electron volt. Valence band and conduction band are separated energy gap of 6 electron volt to 10 electron volt. Types of bonds. The metals are formed by the metallic bonding. Semiconductors are formed by covalent bonding, and insulators are formed by ionic bonding. So here in examples of metals, gold, copper, silver, brass, etc. are the examples of metals. Semiconductor, that is carbon having atomic number 6, silicon, germanium, and in insulator mica sheet, rubber, wood, paper, etc. are the examples. So dear student, we discuss the separation of or difference between metal, semiconductor, insulator according to the band theory. So I hope you may understand this topic clearly. If you have any questions, contact on my mail ID sampadmc57@gmail.com, or my WhatsApp number is 9860389302. In next video lecture, we are going to discuss the formation of p-type semiconductor, n-type semiconductor in details. Thank you for listening.